How you doing, Julia?
I've been taking advantage of some of the vegetables that I grew.
Oh, that's wonderful.
I took pictures, but I didn't do anything with them.
Well, you
So
can
I
send them
just,
to me.
huh?
You can send them to me.
I had the most beautiful lettuce I've ever seen in my life. And some
Wonderful.
very, very old kale.
That's nice. Send me the
But
pictures on Facebook.
the kale only was like the size of my hand, though, the leaves, little tiny ones. And I used them in soup. I made pasta fazool.
Oh, nice.
I didn't know what to do with anything, so I just took pictures with the dogs and ate the vegetables and
Yes, just send me the pictures. I'm gonna
it
put
did.
them on Facebook because I have some pictures from Lena's um, garden as well because she's been harvesting things. I forgot to take a picture of my tomatoes yesterday, but I still have them in the container, so I'll take some pictures of my tomatoes as well.
Well, I remember you said something a long time ago about how tomatoes volunteer everywhere. You got to be careful what you put in your compost.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God, I had tomato plants coming up in my pineapple pots.
Oh,
I
that's
have,
nice.
I have tomato plants over in a garden that has these flowers. So some of them I've let grow. I have one pot that has probably 6 tomato plants in it. They're finally blooming.
Nice.
Seeds. So we'll see. I don't even know what kind of tomatoes they were. Maybe they were the cherry tomatoes that accidentally got in there. Hi, Nancy.
I don't think she heard us.
Okay, I am sending them to you where?
On Facebook. Send them to me in a message.
I don't know how to do that.
Okay.
I have the pictures. I'm just going to send them to you.
Okay.
I don't know where to take them.
Um,
I'm on Facebook. I have the pictures. I don't know where to take them.
okay. Go to messaging.
Oh, okay. To messaging. Okay. All right, hang on here. Let me go back here to the pictures. I'm going to cancel that, discard that. We're going to go to messaging. Okay.
Okay.
And I'll send them to you.
Yes.
Okay. I mean, they looked so good that, and my sister was so busy in Kentucky. This is the first time I've ever done anything like this. The Happy Gardener with the vegetable plants,
Oh,
her massive garden. And she was so busy that I didn't even bother showing her what I achieved at 68. First time in my life I've done something like this. And I thought it was a pretty big deal.
I think that you're doing great.
Okay, I sent them to you.
Okay, thank you.
What I also did, because the containers, when the earlier stuff, like now that the lettuce is gone, I reseeded more radishes and carrots. I know that the green bean plant that's in the back of that trough does not get along with beets. I hope it gets along better with carrots. We'll see. The plants look good, the carrot plants, but I don't know if anything's going to happen underground.
We'll see. I finally went outside and I picked some of my tomatoes and I pulled up some of my things that are in the bed that I needed to take out. Because I wasn't outside doing a lot of the work from earlier in the summer, that area of my yard, right, that area of my yard has been looking very unfortunate. So, so I am just going to take my time, which is very important. I'm going to take my time, get out there. I've got my seeds pulled out. And I planned on doing a little one-page thing for Facebook on what we can plant right now. I'll most likely have that put up by the end of this afternoon. I wanted to do it from last week or even the week before, I believe, but it didn't happen.
I think it's going to have a quick to come up, quick to harvest window for the cooler weather.
Yeah.
Because we're already in February, almost. March, April, May will be so hot, everything will start going downhill.
Oh, yeah.
So,
it was just that we needed to figure out what would have been the next thing to rotate through now that we've got some things that are, you know, adulting and finishing up. So, so that's going to be the next round for moving it on down, you know, rotating our crops. I received some, so this was the year when we had to submit our things for people to do their customer service customer satisfaction reviews. And we received our report back. You all got rave reviews. I need to be put in a ditch somewhere. But
why?
You know what? It's really because I did not follow up with this one lady, and the answer that I gave her, she just wasn't pleased about. That was basically it. I mean, when you look at it in a nutshell, she has some space where I remember having the conversation with her and saying to her, I suspect that there is more going on in that space than you are aware of. So would you monitor it and see if my suspicions might be true? And I kind of believe that she just was not happy with my poor advice. And that's okay. And it's okay. But you all, the Master Gardener side of my program, oh man, our clients said basically that what we all already know is that you all are just awesome. Like, you all really do a great job of calling people and giving people practical advice. And there was one person who thought that they just didn't want to pull up the patch of weeds that they had in their yard there, that we should have recommended a chemical to them. Well, that would not have been Florida friendly landscaping advice. And apparently they live in a very small space anyway, so but for the most part, there were rave reviews about you guys and your services. I think that was wonderful. Let me see.
Well, the plant clinic is alive and well. For anyone who wants to fill the spots,
yes,
there are people sending emails in, and I have this white Geiger that has the fungus spots on only the top of the leaf. I know it's a humidity issue because they're fuzzy leaves. And I left it in there for anybody else that was going to work plant clinic to take a look at and to help to decide what they thought it would be. And there was another issue also that I left in there. Either you or the other master gardeners who are working plant clinic we can look at it and say, okay, this is a situation, this is an issue right now that's going on. And
Okay.
which way would you deal with the issue if you're going to deal with it? Because I didn't feel it necessary to deal with it because the leaves weren't falling off. They just don't look nice. So I'm happy that the plant clinic is busy. So
I am
for
very excited.
Gwen worked the plant clinic, and I can't remember who else that was on this, and Arzella. So when we get in there, there are things to do. I'm excited about that we're busy.
Oh yeah, you all are very busy, and it's going to continue to be that way for a good while, honestly. I tell a lot of the people who will send us messages on Facebook as well, which is not too many, but there are a few, that we're doing it by appointment. Of course, I've had a few walk-ins and I've taken them, but for the most part, right. But for the most part, we're doing pretty well. And people are adhering to the guidelines. Creating a food forest. Okay, I will do that, Linda. I don't know what that's about, but I'll go find out. But we have been getting more people coming into the office. The good thing is that people who do come into office are adhering to the mask requirement. And so I feel a lot better about being here and about you all being able to come in. There might be one or two times when I might have a small issue with a person not wanting to adhere to the rule, but that was more to the beginning of the pandemic when mask wearing was a thing. Now we do not have that much of an issue with it. So I'm pretty pleased with the response from the public and for the coverage at the desk. But yes, I do need more coverage at the desk. That would be great. I have to clear my messages, and I'll be putting some notes on the Master Gardener desk for you all to respond to a few of the people who have left messages, because I think that they just press any number. And I'm not good at forwarding messages, and I'd rather just take the little notes and leave the message on you guys' desk. So I'll be doing that in a couple of hours after I'm done doing this. I've gotten some responses to the recruitment flyers that I put up on Facebook, and I'm sending it out to a couple of other outlets as well for the next Master Gardener training. A few people from other counties that are not nearby have asked to apply, and I told one lady for sure that there is just no way. I'll teach her gardening, but I will not train her in the Master Gardener program. It would not make sense for her to invest in the program, as well as it would not make sense for us to have to keep flipping what I teach here for Indian River County for it to be able to apply to her on the West Coast. So that's one of the main things. Now, had she been even East Coast, Central Florida, then it would have been more conducive, but she isn't. She's West Coast, Central Florida. So I sent her a couple of links that I have not activated yet, but I do have some of my webinars edited. So I sent her a couple of those links and suggested that she use those instead of enrolling in the Master Gardener program. And then there is a lady in a county that I'm aware does not have an active Master Gardener program. but I still don't think that the logistics would work out for her or any of the people who would like to do the program with her. But I'm going to speak with her later on today to really find out what the end goal for them would be and see if I can help them. Even if it's just to set up a few of you all to do virtual lectures for them so that we can maybe do like, because the lectures that we did for the first round of Speakers Bureau was really, really good for sharing the basics with people who live in Florida in general, as well as specifically here. So I'm thinking that depending on how many people she has that wants, I think that they just want to do gardening. I'm not very clear that they actually want to be master gardeners. So once I'm done talking with her, I think that we'll figure out a management program. And then I'll speak with the director in that county to say to her, our master gardeners here are willing to provide these classes for people in your county. Would you be willing to advertise them? Does that make sense to you all? And I see nothing but blank faces. Yes, Julia.
Down south, they used to have guest speakers go to different counties to do a lecture, and you got your MG credit, even a monthly meeting of the MGs, or, you know, whatever organizations want to have a guest speaker, a master gardener guest speaker, put together a PowerPoint for their garden club. You know, they've done that, so that's not unheard of.
Well, in this case, there won't be master gardeners. They're just a county that doesn't have master gardeners. And I'm thinking that they are trying to set up a gardening group, but I'm not sure. So once I speak with her to find out what it is they intend to do with the skills that they obtain, then I'd like to be able to set it up. If I think that that sort of program would work, I'd like to set it up that you all would be able to get on Zoom and give these homeowners the lecture series for the homeowners in that county, the lecture series. And it's gonna basically be the same as when you get up in, like when you all used to go to Brackett and go to the libraries. Right, so you'd still have the PowerPoint on the screen. You'd still be able to see the people, even though they're like off to the side of your screen, but they'd still be able to ask questions. The only difference is you won't be able to see everybody if they raise their hand, because it's only like 4 or 5 people that you'll see on your screen. If they raise their hand, you might not see them. So you'd have to tell them, you know, you're gonna have to, well, I would have to teach them how to use Zoom. That's fine. But we can deliver gardening classes to them. It would just be a matter of figuring out if that's what they're asking for. So I'll speak with her after this meeting and find out what the end use of this would be. And then I'll make a plan and get their county extension service on board with it. Oh, I have a picture or two to share with you all. Okay, so here we go. Let me share my screen. And you all are going to get to see. All right, so this is the backyard of CJB, Chris Buchers. And that is our John in the background. Okay, that might not be the most flattering picture, but there he is. That's our John trimming back the crotons in his son's yard. There's that smile that we are so missing and love. Yeah, he was in the backyard of his friend's yard, of his son's yard. And that was his good breakfast afterwards. And that was after cleanup. And I have a couple more from when he was in where he's currently living right now. I have a couple more from there, but I don't want to take the time to pull it up. This is today's bounty from Lena's garden. Yes, that eggplant looks beautiful. And the Savoy cabbage is doing very well. And look at the head of broccoli. Yes, yes, that looks really amazing. And then I know that I got a few messages from Julia just now. Let me see if I can pull those up without exposing too much of everybody else on my Facebook feed's business. All right. So the good thing is that people are gardening and you all are doing such a really great job of it. Look at that. Julia, your lettuce is beautiful. Beautiful. And look at the marigolds. That looks like basil is still in there, and the peas. Are those nasturtium in the back?
In the back, there's nasturtium. This is a green bean to the right.
Mm-hmm.
And then between the lettuce is my carrots. You see them?
Yes.
Carrots?
That is a great use of the space, Julia. That is a great use of the space. All right. And then this is another.
The green beans I harvested last night.
Oh, good.
I had probably 2 dozen off of that one plant. That was the first crop of them.
Nice.
And I've replanted in more radishes. When I took the lettuce out, I just filled it up with rows of radishes.
Mm-hmm.
And a couple more green beans, and they're the bush beans, the tenderettes.
Mm-hmm.
One seed, and it gives you a nice bush, and you get a dinner worth of green beans a couple of times, 3 times.
Oh, well, that is nice.
4 times, so that was exciting.
Okay, and there's your tomato plant. That looks very healthy and nice.
That was the volunteers, the seeds that I had in the compost. And I put some composted soil in the flower pot, and I never planted anything. And I went back and I looked at it and I said, wait a minute, those are tomatoes. Goodness, those are tomato seeds that are growing, and there's probably 4 or 5.
Oh,
this
that
morning
is
they're full of yellow flowers, so I don't know what kind of tomatoes, but I was happy about that. And then I have other tomatoes.
Oh, that is nice.
Pretty good.
Yes, that is really, really nice. And look at the bell pepper.
Mm.
Oh, yes.
That's a very old plant, too. That plant lived through last summer. It was from last season, so I went through last season, last summer, and now, and it looks rough, but it's giving me every once in a while a green pepper. So the joy of gardening.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I recommend that you rotate out your bell pepper now, ma'am. It's only supposed to be there for 1 season. Follow it up with some beans, okay? Yes, beans. All right. I am working on getting the, oh geez, what is it now? Let me go look at this email and I will tell you all. Oh yeah. Okay, so I have a couple of little couple more little things to do over at the IG Center, but we're almost done with the signage. So we'll have signs out there. Yay! Janice, Susan, Karen, and a couple of you others who have been out there working on the garden. Oh man, when I was out there taking pictures, Mike comes hustling on out, you know? And he says to me, he says, I see master gardeners out here all the time. Thank you so much. It looks fantastic. So I went out there to go take some pictures and to take, especially to take an updated picture of the bed out to the front that we had to remove the daisies from, right? And I pulled up, as I'm pulling into the IG Center, I can see our beds, like the ones against the wall. And it was just never that bright and amazing looking before. And then walking up, I was like, wow, this is fantastic looking. You all did a fantastic job out there, and you all are continuing to do a fantastic job out there. So I wanted to just make sure that you all know that it is not going unappreciated. And Mike was like, yeah, and it's like they're out here. As soon as we get the gate open, sometimes there's somebody here and they come and they water and they do, he says they do all kinds of things out here, and it's fantastic. So I thank you all so much for your dedication and for staying on top of it. And let me know when we need to replace things. I know that the Gaillardia is going to become bigger. I've got some replacement set up so that when those become too leggy and too woody and they're not blooming anymore, we'll have some new ones to rotate on in. So, and then we'll just split the spiderwort, which I'm amazed because I found out that my spiderwort was rather large for what it is. And I was like, oh, I didn't know. It wasn't until I showed my picture to Violet that she was like, yeah, that's a pretty big plant. But I divvied mine up a couple weeks ago, I should say. I divided mine a couple weeks ago. But this is what my spiderwort looked like in my front yard. And I got that as one little clump smaller than the palm of my hand out of Lois's yard. And I kept it in a container, barely alive by the time I got it into the ground when I was redoing my bed in my front yard. And so mine is huge. And I turned it into 3 pieces, and I put some on the other side of my front bed. But that's what the spiderwort will eventually grow up to be. And so by the time, if you leave it and don't divvy it up. So I will be going out there randomly as well to make sure that I take a look at what needs to be divided and what needs to be refreshed, and we can continue to manage it. But so far, so good. Those beds are getting a lot of buzz, and it looks fantastic, you all. It really, really does look amazing. Thank you so much for your efforts on our behalf. I don't think that I have too much more to tell you all. I just wanted to have the meeting today so that we could all see one another as usual.
Nikki, I have a request. Can you hear me?
Yes, Janice, I can hear you.
I don't have great computer skills, and since everybody's wearing masks, I was wondering, could I work the help desk with someone with much more experience? Do you think anyone would be up to that?
Yeah, what day would you like to come in?
Whatever.
You select a date on the VMS, and then send me a message.
Well, do you think I should just choose a date that someone else agrees to? There may be people that
I'm
don't want.
agreeing to it. Remember, I've got my tech Mondays, but it'll be a tech Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday, if whatever you need. I'll
Right.
do it with you.
Okay,
So you select your dates, and oh, sure thing, Julia. I'll share with you. But yeah, you select your dates, Janice, and you just let me know, because I don't always check the calendar to see who's on.
okay.
All right. So when you select your dates, I will then make sure that I come in on that day earlier in the morning and do the things that I need to do at my desk. And then I'll come around and I'll help you with the tech.
Okay,
It's no problem. And I really want, I have tablets that I'm going to get Brian to put onto the system. And that way I can get us to be able to use the tablets and send things to print from the tablets. And that's going to be right. Because when the computers want to glitch out, we can just say, okay, you can sit there and be glitchy if you want to. We'll just flip on over to the tablet. So that's my game plan. So I'll show you how to use them both. And Julia just says she's committed to Tuesdays, and she'll be happy to work with you as well.
that's good. Okay,
So
I'm on the schedule for the first and third Tuesday that I would like to. I've asked Jim, as long as we have a plant clinic. And I understand Nancy Richardson also prefers Tuesday. So I kabish back and forth with her, and she agreed to share the month. So I'll do first and third. She does second and fourth. And
I think
I'll be
that's
happy to help show her how the ropes of the plant clinic.
there you go, Janice. You've got yourself a new buddy.
I didn't know we were allowed to be two in that office though.
We are allowed to have two.
I didn't know that.
The space will allow 4 people to be in there, but I keep limiting it.
Okay. Well, Karen and I used to do Tuesday morning.
Yes,
And then Nancy used to do Tuesday afternoon.
right.
And I don't even think she's aware that we're allowed to be 2 people in the office yet.
Well, I would only do this so that you can show her the ropes. This would be like her internship. And then
Okay.
we'd have to split the 2 of you up.
Okay.
Because me and her being in there will be the same as you and her being in there. But I have made sure that I know what the measurements of the room is.
Okay.
So I'm aware that I could have more people. I'm also aware that just because I can doesn't mean I should.
Well, last week, Yvonne told me too that we have to wear a mask now
Yes.
while we're inside. So
Yes.
we have to keep our mask on now, which
Yes. The
I'm
county,
okay with.
the county office is pretty strict about it. I'm in my office, so I don't have to wear a mask because I have walls and whatnot. But when you step outside the door of the Master Gardener office, you have to wear a mask. So even so when we're in the shared spaces, so if you're going to pick up something off the printer, you have to have on a mask.
Oh, okay. Well, Yvonne told me even sitting at the desk, I'm supposed to wear a mask.
No, unless someone walks in.
Okay.
If you're sharing the space with another human being,
Right.
and you do not have the walls up, then you have to wear a mask. So like for me in my office here and you all are over the wall, we don't have to wear a mask. It's only if you've got people in the same space without walls. All right, that's how that works.
Okay. I have a question about the Egret Marsh. I wasn't in our meeting last week, and because I was doing plant clinic, and so I didn't hear the update for Egret Marsh. You know, we're holding plants that mine are now looking pretty A lot of
All
those
right.
plants are not happy.
I am sending an email to Alexis so that we can have a planting day. It will not be the optimum thing to do,
But right
Right.
now, I understand with the cold weather.
but for right now, it's, it's one thing to hope that things will get better in time for us to be able to do the things that we want to do. I've decided not to keep my dreams bottled up like that anymore. Right?
Yeah.
So what I really needed was an insect survey before and after. You know what? I'm going to email Alexis and I'll get back to you all about those plants because I might just go ahead and put them somewhere else.
They need to be in the ground.
They need
get
to be in the ground.
They really
need to be
do.
in the ground.
This cold is not doing them justice in those.
Not
little
at all.
pots.
And then keeping them containerized for too long is
Yep.
not good either. All right. Give me a couple of days. I'll speak with Alexis and I'll also look at another location that might be conducive to us putting them in the ground and letting them multiply, and we'll steal their babies. That might just be what I end up having to do.
In other words, they have to go to storage.
So let me see what I can find out from her, and then I'll figure out a delta for it, for sure. But we do need to get those plants in the ground somewhere. I think that's it, unless you all have any updates or anything or any questions that you'd like to share. I don't really think that I have much else to tell you all today.
Did we decide outside that we could not do any sort of a field trip to a botanical garden type of thing, or is that just a personal?
Oh, no, we did not make that decision at all. We actually said that we should all get together and make the plan. We wouldn't be able to do like our usual carpooling and whatnot. Hi, CKB.
Good morning.
Come say howdy. Everybody would love to see you.
I bet. Good morning, everyone. How's everybody doing?
Good. Hi, Christine.
Christina.
Oh, let's see.
You guys surviving okay?
Yeah.
Some of you are. Well, that's good.
Karen Batlin says, hi, Christine.
Hi, Karen. Hi, Arzella. Don't see your face, but I know you're there.
Well,
All right. So yeah, we can make a plan to do things like that because we'll be able to socially distance and it's outdoors. We'd still have to wear a mask if we're congregating, right? I know that most of the botanical gardens in the area are, they've got their signage up as well to say, we're happy that you can be here. You have to make sure that you stay safe and everybody else stays safe with you.
One for now, one for later. You need that.
Yes, I do. Thank you. Sorry, y'all. Christine is delivering donuts. It's been a rough morning. So,
Nikki,
yes.
have you guys heard anything about some kind of identification for the new master gardeners, like shirts or lanyards?
Yes, I've got your name tags ordered. I'm waiting for the okay to do your shirts. It's one of those things where our vendor is not currently in the position to do it. I think that they've got like 3 or 4 of their people off. So I'm waiting on shirts, but I do have you guys name things coming in. It should be here in the next 2 weeks, I'm hoping. But even that too has been backed up because they not only switched offices, but then the person who does them is gone as well. So it's, you know, me and Mr. Murphy, we just need to get married and call it a day. That's how I'm looking at things. It's like, really? This is what happened, huh? Okay. But yes, you will soon have a lot of branded things on you. And I could just do the generic order, but I really want you all to be able to do what we did last time, which is order whatever color shirt it is that you want once you put your label on it. So that's what I'm really holding out for. I could order just the older
The green shirts.
green uniform things that we used to have before. But in order for me to be able to give you all the choice of color and whatnot, that's what I'm holding out for, because I find that it is so much easier to get people to wear what they want to wear. Right? So that's my game plan. But your name tags are showing up within the next 2 weeks because the lady should be back next week. All right. Let me see. I think that's just about it for my end. Does anyone else have questions? All right. So yes, Julia. And yes, go ahead before you forget, because I won't.
Trying to steal my coffee.
There was somebody earlier today, and I was trying to look it up for the person that asked about the web number for the,
Oh, the creating a food forest thing?
yeah, the webinars that are coming up. This is the full schedule. I made a copy from the UF from Wendy or someone that
Okay.
posted it.
Is
And I
that
made
got
a
it?
copy so that I could put it in my calendar and just keep it here because I'm so stinking forgetful now that I need to have things under, you know, my nose and in my eye. So anyway, they sent me the email response to when I wanted to sign up for them. So I have that. I was gonna, I don't know how to, you know, do I forward that to you? Or was that a personal email back to the people that sign up for these to get you on each time?
Okay, now I see. I mean, I'd heard about it, but I didn't really remember what it was about. Okay, so now that I know, I can forward that email to you, Linda.
Okay, because I went to register and they say you need to contact your master, your agent or your horticultural agent for the link to register. So in other words, there was no way to register unless I contacted you.
Okay.
Which I didn't think that's the way it was done before, but that's for some reason that's what they had now. That's how it was set up. To register, you had to I had to contact you.
Okay, the link was sent from Emily E. Banks.
Yeah,
2020
I know Emily. She's such a darling.
And I've got the full schedule, and I guess monthly you hit the UF Zoom webinar number each month, and it comes up.
It's
Do you
on
want me to
the
send
it's on
this
the
to
Master
you?
Gardener site. No, I'm gonna put. Okay, so Linda, are you able to grab a link out of Zoom, or should I email it to you?
I'm not sure if I can grab it out of Zoom.
Okay, so let me do it.
Okay, thank
that's
you.
the link.
Oh wait, oh yes, this looks like I can hit this.
Okay, so that's the link to our Florida Master Gardener site, right?
But yes, and then where
And so
But
it
then when
says contact your MGV county coordinator for the registration link.
right. So, yeah, so this is what I was on earlier this morning, but there was no way for me to register.
Okay, so let me go into my emails.
You might want to send that out to everybody again.
I'm going to give it a shot. Yes, give me a second.
And I'm trying to figure out if this is the same link for all of them or just the one coming up in January, because typically each time you get a new set of numbers for, I know with Audubon you don't just go in the same number every time, with each one of the lectures. So they send you an invite each month after you've said, oh, I'm interested in that. Then they send you the confirmation that you're interested and this is your link. So I don't know if we do it the same way, but this is the only one I got from them.
hey,
I don't know. I don't know.
all righty then. Give me just 1 second. Open this PDF. And drop it down. So this just gives the schedule. All right. So what I'm gonna do, normally register for all of them at this time.
Okay, it says
Open
here
the
that they
link.
downloaded and imported the following iCalendar file to your calendar system.
All right.
So it should be every time, I guess.
Right. Okay. So I'm going to send you all. I see what they did. So now you get to either go through and use the link every time. You can go through and reapply to join the talk every time, or okay, let me show you all my screen, right? So that you all can know what it is I'm talking about better. Okay. So they sent out an email, right? Where it says to us coordinators, share this link with your master gardeners. And then when you click on the link, you're going to get to this page where you can register. So it says it's for the whole year, right? And what it does, it says you can choose to attend one or more of the following webinars, and you're going to have to select them, like how I'm selecting right now. Maybe I need to zoom in more.
No, I can see it.
Everybody can see it properly?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm down here and I'm just going to select, slide this down. And y'all don't laugh about the way that I'm explaining this, because you all know that sometimes it's that one little thing that we didn't notice to the side that trips us up when we're trying to get our things done. Okay, so now I've selected every one of the webinars, right? And then it's going to ask you for your name, your email address. That's going to be important, because when you attend the Zoom meeting, when you attend that webinar, they'll be able to send you the quiz directly. You all, please don't be like my people on my other lecture series. When we send you all the link to a survey, please do the survey. You all know how important it is to do the survey. Okay, now if you need any particular accommodations in order to be able to participate, then you say yes, and whoever it is that's teaching it is going to send you an email, right? And then you just fill in these blanks. All right, this again is the same thing that we do at our lectures, all right? We need to know who we are getting our services to. That's all. All right. And so let me go on down here, select Indian River. How many years have I been a master gardener? What future topics would you like to learn about in webinars? This is your opportunity to tell them what you want to learn. I'm not putting anything in there. I'm going to hit register. All right. Now, it looks like it's the same screen. It is not. okay? You no longer can select from this column, right? But it asks you if you want to add it to your calendar. So if you have an online calendar, so if you use Outlook, if you use Google services, chances are you have a calendar. If you even have an electronic calendar on your phone, you have a type of calendar. If you click add to calendar, it's going to give you 3 different types. It's going to say Google Calendar, Outlook Calendar, or Yahoo Calendar. Now I can do Google and Outlook, right? So if you have a Hotmail address, you can use Outlook Calendar because Hotmail belongs to Microsoft. Okay, that's important for y'all to know. So I'll go down here and I'll say Outlook Calendar. And because I have Outlook on my computer, it's going to download this little thing. Let me modify the way that I'm sharing my screen so that you all can see it. All right. So I just got a downloaded thing, right? It shows up on the bottom of my screen. So wherever your downloads show up, look for it. Open it up. Click open. And what it's going to do is it's going to automatically take you to your Outlook calendar. Sometimes it actually gives me a new thing, which is annoying at times. But for the most part, it's going to go ahead and fix itself into your existing calendar, okay? I think the reason why it's doing that is because I already have one of these set up in my proper calendar, but it will go ahead and fix itself into your calendar for you if you'd like for it to do so. All right. Now, for those of you who want these reminders on your phone and you don't know how to do this, send me an email. I'll make the time. We'll get in on Zoom and we'll do it together, okay? If I want to add this to my Google Calendar, which is what I'm going to do on my phone, I'll just go and send it to my phone, all right? And that way it'll automatically remind me on my phone when it's coming up and whatnot. All right, so that is how to get to that screen. Let me stop sharing with you all. And I'm not sure if it's going to populate with my personal things in it, but you all are brilliant enough to be able to put your own information in. So I'm not going to be too concerned about that. And it's rather generic. Okay, so let me hit copy on here and let me put it into the box here for you all. All right, and I'll send it out in an email after this when I send out the recording of our meeting in a couple of hours from now. All right, so if you need help registering and everything, let me know. And if you did not receive that email from Emily a few weeks ago, I think I forwarded that out as well. Here is what I will do. I will go ahead and send you all a copy of the webinars. Let me make a Word document right now. It won't be as pretty as Julia's, but it will be effective. All right. And I will add that into my email to you all for later on. Okay, but register for the webinar series, and then you'll have your little Word document with the schedule that you can plug into whatever calendar or whatever it is that you use. The webinars are still at 1 o'clock on the last Thursday, I think it is, of the month, right? Yeah, today's Tuesday. Yeah, Thursday, because it's the 28th. So it's the last Thursday of every month at 1 o'clock. And they're always, they're good for information. And don't forget that although your continuing education requirements have been reduced because of the pandemic situation that we're into, it's been prorated. The more you learn, the better you will be anyway, right? And we might as well stock up. We might as well bulk up on our gardening knowledge now while we can, because when we're finally able to get loose and be out and about, we're going to not want to be sitting down stuck at a desk somewhere watching one of these webinars. And then I can't wait until we can get back together again too, because I liked being able to reserve the room and we can watch it together downstairs. We have been known to have popcorn and lemonade. And okay, so now back to what we were talking about before, Julia, with being able to go out and visit gardens and things. I'm all for it. You all, I think that what we've got to do though is consider something within an hour radius of here, so that by the time we get there, we're not everybody driving by themselves. That would be such a pain, like, because we're not able to carpool. I think carpooling makes a long drive so much better, because then you've got company, right? It seemed like we got
Nikki,
to Lake Placid.
To Christmas, it's only an hour away. That Fort Christmas was amazing, I thought.
Right. So send us a little write-up about what we can see at Fort Christmas, and we'll consider it. So yeah, find
Okay, I
things.
sent you a bunch of pictures on.
I know that, Susan, but that was us chit-chatting. You send me something for us to present before the Master Gardeners that'll make them say it's worth our time to go on up to Fort Christmas. But the rest of you, find us a place that is within an hour, so that when we all have to drive ourselves there individually, we're not grinding our teeth and feeling like caged bears in our cars. And we can plan on having our lunch and then being able to, you know, go home afterwards or whatever. But yes, we can totally go visit different gardens. And if I have a good enough heads up, we can do like what we did at FIT Garden, right? We can get someone who is very knowledgeable to give us a really good tour. And then we can sit down and we can have our food and we can at least smile and say we saw one another. All right. Yes, Julia, you've got to unmute yourself, darling.
There's enough new master gardeners at FIT. I just drove by there last weekend and I thought, gee, I need to visit that place again.
Right.
Right in our own neighborhood for anyone who wants to go. That's a cool place to, and how long has it been since we were there?
2 years, 3 years?
3 years when you first came on board.
Yeah.
So that would be a great field trip.
Okay.
I'm all for getting Jim off of his chair again.
That would be really nice, right? So, Fort Christmas, FIT Garden. I know our own McKee is available as well. I know that there is Heathcote.
I love Heathcote. That's
right.
Fort Pierce, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Um,
And that would be a
so
nice-
these are all things that we can plan out, and it's still very cool right now.
Yes, it's perfect.
All right, so this would be perfect visitation weather. I know that it'll take a little bit of planning for FIT Garden, and most of you have memberships at McKee. So that shouldn't be an extra cost on anyone to be able to go there. And let me send off an email to the people at McKee to see if we can get a docent to walk us about. All right, Heathcote, I'll send an email down to the Master Gardeners down in St. Lucie County. I know that they do some work out there. But you all will have to pick the dates and the times. So Julia, I think that you can get together with Jim. I think Jim did a great job of working with you all to go out to
Yeah, you know, up in the center of the state.
place
you
that,
know.
that people go when they're in love. That place. That's the only thing that I remember that garden for. It's a monument of love.
Niagara Falls?
No.
No, the bell. What's the name of it?
Gosh.
Starts with a T.
Whatever it was that you all went to, and I couldn't get to go. But
Clock Tower.
Clock Tower.
Oh, Bach Tower.
Starts with a T.
They're spending way too much time alone. Oh, this is bad. This is bad.
Right. So Bach Tower Gardens. So you all had a really good experience there, and that's really, really what I want you all to continue to have. And as long as we can distance, we can do day trips, we can do field trips. All right, we can definitely do those. And we're not taking any teeny boppers with us, so it'll be great. So get together with Jim, and you all can pick some dates, you all can pick some locations. All right, so it's Fort Christmas, FIT Garden, McKee,
And Heathcote.
right? For right now. And
And
you
you
all can find other places. We still have several weeks of good weather
Yes.
left in the year. So, I mean, and what are y'all doing anyway?
Nothing.
Nothing.
You know, Bach Tower, if you go there, the camellias are really in bloom right now.
They are?
That's
Yeah,
Oh.
and if they know you're coming and you're a Master Gardener program, they'll give you a picnic table and a place to eat, you know. And all
Okay,
sorts-
well, I
We can't
recommend,
go alone. You
huh?
won't let us drive with anybody though.
We can't drive with other people. I mean, it's a long drive, but the camellias are in bloom, people.
Mhm.
That
It's
would
really
be a good
beautiful.
change off. That would be a good, I mean, it'll be worth it to drive that far by yourself if we can see the camellias.
Even if you wear masks, you can't drive together.
No,
Why?
let me go
Are
ask
they gonna
them.
lock us up?
Y'all, don't do that. I want you all to be able to go see the camellias next January if we have to, right? We have to be as safe as we possibly can. Let me go and ask, because we have a new update today actually, where they might be changing some things. So you all work on some plans for us to visit different places, and I will work on how best to get us there safely. How about that? Okay? Yes.